Welcome to Khanversations. I'm Muhtadar Khan, your host, and today I'm going to talk to you about a Fox News survey, which is surprising. Well, not really surprising. This is something that most people will agree upon. What it really says is that a majority of Americans consider the Trump administration as absolutely incompetent. So I'm going to show you the survey as to how negative the perception about uh, Donald Trump and his cabinet has sort of embedded in the American public discourse. So take a look at this. This is the first slide. So according to Fox News poll, which was taken just from the 17th to the 20th of April, more than 1,000 respondents. You must also remember that, or keep in mind that Fox News is one of the biggest supporters of Donald Trump in the United States. It's also the biggest channel. It's much bigger than MSNBC or even CNN. And so as a result of advertising this poll, they are further going to cement the perception in the public that the Trump administration is quite incompetent. So according to their findings, they found that 43% of people think that the Trump administration is competent, whereas 56% of Americans think that the Trump administration is not very competent. So there is a negative 13% people who feel that the Trump administration is not very competent. I mean, one of the points that the Fox News is trying to make is that it's very difficult to win over people who are from the opposite camp and people who are also independents. So the point they seem to be making is that the basic point that they are trying to make is that, look, that the Republicans think that Donald Trump is competent, the independents and the Democrats obviously don't think so. And then in order to soften the blow, they compare it to Joe Biden in 2022 and Obama administration in 2015. So you must understand that these are not, how should I pay you? Like if you do blood tests, you have something called A1C, which tells you what is your blood level, sugar level in your blood. Now it tells you over a period of 3 months, the last 3-4 months, what is the level. But this polls like this do not give you an impression over a period of time. They are a one-shot thing. So it's quite possible the next day this could change. So I think the Fox News has cherry-picked data from the Biden administration and the Obama administration to soften the blow and say, look, it's not very different from what Biden and Obama were experiencing. So let me just show you. If you look at the Biden administration, I don't know why they just picked 2015. He was a lame duck. Why didn't they compare it with the first term or whatever? Anyway, so if you look at the perception of competence, Obama had a 1% advantage. Biden didn't. I agree. Biden was not very competent. Neither was his administration with people like Blinken and Kamala Harris. That is my reaction to the Biden administration. Joe Biden supported genocide in Gaza for 14 months. And there's no other way to talk about him. But look at the people who felt incompetent. Obama was better than Trump, and I'm sure the Fox News picked the worst data point in the Obama administration. So in terms of people who perceived that he was not competent, is 53%, 3% advantage on the Trump administration. In terms of people who saw him as competent, 1% better than. So this is an important point that even Fox News. So not only the things that you need to know, this is a very strong signal from the right wing. Not only Fox News could have simply killed this survey. It doesn't cost much to make 1,001 phone calls, maybe $50,000 or $100,000 to do this survey. They could have looked at it and said, oh shit, this makes Trump look bad. Let's simply not report it. So the most important thing to me is that Fox News is reporting this, and it is on their website. You can just go and take a look at it. There are some interesting other points that they have made. I'm not going to be able to share that with you. Otherwise, this show will go on for hours. So, but let me just show it to you. The website. This is the website that you see. Fox News poll. This is a slide that I'm showing you, and I'll show you this slide, which is actually the most important slide. So this is where we are with it. First of all, that a majority of Americans think that the Trump administration is incompetent. Now look at this slide, views on President Trump. I just love this. When they asked him, does he have judgment? Only 42% think he has good judgment, and 57% think he does not have good judgment. There's a 15% gap. If you look at the fact that does he have good temperament, oh my God, I mean, this is such a bizarre, there are still diehard MAGA people in this country. 40% think he has good temperament. Last night at 3 o'clock, he went on a rampage. He just went crazy. He's having a meltdown every other night. And then goes on Truth Social and tweets in anger and hate and this and that. Anyway, even there, in terms of temperament, there's a 20% negative, minus 20%. And then if you see, does he have mental soundness? Okay, there's only 10% that. So there's 45% people think he's mentally sound. I think that is a measure of this country. I think 45% people in this country are not mentally sound if they think Donald Trump is mentally sound. And then, does he care? Oh, there are 37% Americans who think he cares. I don't know what they care about, but 63%. This is the category on which he does worse. So at least I want to give credit to those 8% conservatives in this country who think he's mentally sound, but at least have the moral sensibility to recognize that he may be mentally sound, but he does not care. I want to show you another slide from the Trump administration's job ratings, okay? So J.D. Vance approval rating is 44%, 55% disapprove. That's 11% negative. Marco Rubio is 44 and 56% disapprove of him, which is a 12%. So J.D. Vance, in spite of all his failures, he failed. I mean, when he went and campaigned for Orban in Hungary, Orban lost. He went to Pakistan to negotiate ceasefire. That failed. In fact, not many people will tell you this, but J.D. Vance's brother, his stepbrother, his half-brother, stepbrother, whatever, ran for the job of the mayor of Cincinnati, and he lost to an Indian American, even though J.D. Vance campaigned for him in Cincinnati for the mayoral election. So in spite of all his failures, he is leading over Rubio by 1 point in terms of disapproval. Donald Trump's approval rating is 42 and disapproval is 58, 16% negative. So at least the country sees both Vance and Rubio are better than Trump. And of course, Pete Hegseth, he's the worst. I mean, this guy, I don't know what to say. Secretary of War. He is so absolutely not just incompetent, but he's pretty dumb. He pretends to be very Christian. He starts every press conference with a prayer. Can you believe this? You have this so-called virtues. One of the virtues of American democracy was supposed to be secularism, but that seems to have gone out of the window. So Pete Hegseth starts all his press conferences with prayers and cites the Bible and quotes the Bible. And most recently, he quoted a Bible verse, which was not exactly a Bible verse. It was some distorted version from Pulp Fiction that that one of the actors in that was, paraphrasing the Bible. So this guy can't even tell the difference between Hollywood and the Bible, and he's supposed to be a Christian missionary, whatever. He has crusader tattoos on his body. Just Google his photographs and see. So yes, so the perception is that they're pretty incompetent. I also want to show you another job ratings, but this is views on President Trump. All right, so the final one is this one. This is an important one. Let me pull a bigger version of it so I can see them. Yeah, so if you look at this particular slide of Donald Trump's, this is Fox News. Remember that, okay? Fox News decided to report these findings. Okay, so President Trump's job performance on various categories. As I already shared, overall, the approval rating is 42%, disapproval rating 58%, negative 16%. I am just stunned that he's still enjoying 42% approval rating. This is bloody shocking. Joe Biden had gone below 40 at this point. Anyway, so he seems to be enjoying only on one category. His approval rating is above his disapproval rating, which is border security, which is 53%, and disapprove is 47%. I don't know why people disapprove. He has done a tremendous job, no doubt about it. That undocumented and so-called illegal migration across the U.S. border has become next to zero. So yes, this has been done very successfully. But it's also interesting that Fox News respondents separate border security from immigration. So this is probably all the stuff he's trying to do about canceling birthright, deporting people, canceling naturalization, shutting down H-1B, all of those. Even that, you can see the gap. 46% approve, 54% disapprove. On the job that he's doing with China, 42% approve, 57%, the gap is 15%. Partly, a lot of people think that the U.S. administration, both Biden and Trump, have taken their eyes off the ball. They are more focused. He was more focused on Ukraine, and Biden was more focused on supporting Ukraine and supporting Israel's genocide in Gaza, whereas Trump is just focused on Iran, and the Middle East. He's even forgotten about his desire to win a Nobel Peace Prize. I think he's given it up. So they have forgotten about dealing with China. Hopefully when he goes to China next month on the 14th and 15th of May, we will see what happens. On foreign policy, 20%, at least I am so glad. This restores my faith in many Americans. So at least 60% Americans have the sense to understand that he is terrible on foreign policy. I teach American foreign policy both at the undergraduate and the graduate level for PhD students and for undergraduates here at the University of Delaware. So I sometimes jokingly say, when people ask, well, what do you teach? I say disaster management. And they say, what? You teach disaster management? I said, yeah, AKA American foreign policy. So anyway, his handling of Iran, this is it, okay? This is the only thing that Donald Trump has been doing in 2026 is Iran. I will destroy the civilization, I will do this. Apparently he went on a rampart. I don't know how true this is, but there's a lot of media chatter about how he wanted access to nuclear codes, and General Kane refused to hand them over to him. Whatever it is, only 1/3 of Americans approve of his policy towards Iran, and 2/3. This is why people like me say that America's Iran policy is not Iran first, this is Israel first. The reason why, look, all Americans understand there's nothing to do with American national interests. This is because of the stranglehold that Israel and Israeli supporters have on American foreign policy. 63% Americans disapprove of his policies in Iran, but he's going to go ahead and do it. People seem to do it like that. Significant majority of Democrats are against have very negative views of Israel now. Yet Senator Chris Coons of Delaware voted to not stop sending bulldozers to Israel so that they can demolish homes in West Bank and Gaza. This is Chris Coons, who's on Senate Foreign Relations Committee, a Democrat. I hope you're listening to this, Mr. Senator Coons. I was very disappointed by the statement that you issued. You were not very honest about it. You pretended as if you didn't want to abandon Israel and the Jewish people. It was nothing about that. All Bernie Sanders was trying to do was to make sure that no more bulldozers went, so that homes and in West Bank and Gaza are not demolished by Israel. But anyway, the economy, Donald Trump said, oh, I'm going to make America great again. Again, 1/3. This is one of the worst, 34 to 66. My God, 32% negative disapproval rating. And on Iran, it's also close to 27% negative. Government spending. This is supposed to be the party of fiscal responsibility. 33 to 67. Oh, let's bring a businessman. He knows how to handle money. He has made billions of dollars. So let's bring in, unlike politicians, businessmen are supposed to be good. Look at this performance. And on inflation, the only thing he had to fight on, inflation, it is absolutely stunning. 28% on inflation, approval 72. It tells me that the last item tells you, if you ask anybody the question, how many mentally retarded morons are there in America? How many morons in America? That answer is here, 28% inflation. This is also people who are probably very rich, like Elon Musk. There are hundreds, literally thousands of billionaires, and literally hundreds of thousands or even millions of multiple millionaires, people with more than 10 million net worth and incomes in millions of dollars a year. So for them, inflation, like if the gas price goes from $2.90 to $4.15, it's above $5.70 in Seattle. Yeah, it doesn't bother them much. But 72% of Americans think that he has done a terrible job on inflation. I wish we had some mechanism by which we could withdraw the president and say, you're fired, Mr. Trump. Unfortunately, we can't do that. Yes, we can impeach him, but the Democrats don't have the guts to do this. They'll take a few pennies from AIPAC and keep Trump in power, even if they had the votes. Anyway, so this is what I wanted to share with you, that according to the Fox News, Donald Trump's administration is perceived as highly incompetent on the key issues right now, which is, in my opinion, inflation and the war on Iran. On both of those, the massive, massive disapproval of Donald Trump. 66% disapprove of his Iran policy, 72% disapprove of the manner in which he's handling inflation. And let me tell you, you don't have to be a genius to see that they are too connected. The reason why we have persistent inflation and going to be increasing, this inflation is not going to go. One clever oil expert said something very interesting, that oil prices go up like a rocket and they come down like a feather, which is very slowly. So what it means is that even if the war ends, the oil prices are not just going to drop, even though we do see every time Donald Trump makes peaceful noises, the Brent oil price falls. Let me just check and tell you what the Brent oil price was. When we were talking about J.D. Vance going to Pakistan, at that time it was 85. That is Brent crude oil price. So right now it is 105. It's gone up by $20 because the Iranians simply did not trust America to come back and said that there's no point in talking to him because he does not live up to his promises. He violated the ceasefire by blockading Hormuz. And as long as the Hormuz remains blockaded by the US or Iran or both, the oil prices are going to be over $100. Just to remind you, it's 105 right now as I speak, $105.61. It was 65 in January. Okay, it was 65 in January, and it had gone down to $90 on April 17th. I think that was the lowest in the last 1 month. And it's still going up now. It's gone 105 to $69. So it's gone from 65 to 105, $40 gone up. So 40 on 65 is 66% increase in oil prices. And oil it's like, inflation of oil prices is like, a doctor will tell you that it's, if you have diabetes, it affects your entire metabolism. Okay, it's like saying your sugar went up in So it's just not your sugar going up. It affects everything. It affects your heart. It affects lots of things. And similarly, if the price of oil goes up, then it affects transportation. So anything that moves becomes more expensive. So if you are getting eggs from the village to the city, you're getting milk from the village to the city, you're getting vegetables and tomatoes from the farm to the store, all of that will go up, the cost of that. So your groceries will immediately show a higher rate. The milk will be more expensive, the eggs, the bread, everything. Transportation, people are not flying. The jet fuel price has gone from $2.5 to $5. And all of this with Donald Trump bragging constantly that this is the golden era, golden age of America. Really, golden age? 72% of this country feels that he has not managed inflation. America's biggest crisis at this moment is cost of living. And that cost of living, I mean, this is why Zoran Mamdani won. Can you imagine an American politician saying he will arrest Netanyahu is America's God. He's more important than Jesus or Pope. You can see Sean Hannity left Catholicism because the Pope was critical of Trump. And Mamdani says, I will arrest Netanyahu if he shows up in New York, and wins the election in New York with 30% of Jewish vote. And why did he do that? Because he focused on what, let me rephrase it, he was America first. Unlike all the other candidates who were Israel first. But he was not just America first, he was America first in a very brilliant way. He never wavered on the message, which was cost of living, affordability crisis. That is the number one crisis in America. Crisis of affordability. Everything is going so expensive in this country. And a vast majority. Let me tell you something about America. America is the richest country in the world, no doubt about it. At $32 trillion, we are 1.5 times richer than America, China, the next big country. We are nearly 10 times bigger than France, etc. But half of America's per capita income or median income is above $150,000. So the top half of America is at $150,000. The current GDP per capita of the United States is around $90,000. But the bottom half is $30,000, which means that the top half of America is 6 times richer than the bottom half, or roughly that. It's the bottom half of America for whom life has become unaffordable. In the last 20 years, salaries have gone up by 15-16%. But rent, gas, food, everything has gone up by 60 to 100%. Which means even if you have got raise every year in the last 15-20 years, it's like running on the treadmill. You're not getting anywhere because everything is getting expensive. It's simple. If you get a 5% raise, let's say you're making $100,000 and your salary goes up by 5%, you will go from 100 to 105%, $105,000 per year. But if inflation is 6%, then your salary raise becomes meaningless. You're in the negative. So that is what has happened in America. The cost of living has gone up. The wages have not kept pace. That is the affordability crisis. Donald Trump probably does not even understand this. This is the fundamental problem of this country. Not spending hundreds of billions of dollars to save Ukraine or billions of dollars to finance a genocide in Gaza or to attack and destroy a civilization in Iran. Even if America is successful in all these projects, even if we push Russia back to 2014 borders, and even if we kill all Palestinians, all of them in Gaza and in West Bank, etc., and if we destroyed all of Iran's civilization, make it a desert, completely kill all 92 million people in Iran, America's cost of living is not going to go down. People are not going to afford health care. One of the reasons why the government shut down in the United States was because the Republicans were unwilling to refinance the subsidy on the Affordable Care Act or the Obama Care. About $30 billion was necessary to extend the subsidy for 2 years on that. And we didn't have the money. America did not have $30 billion to provide health care to a lot of seniors. So for a lot of people, the cost of healthcare went from $800 a month to $2,000 a month. They're all going to go bankrupt, or they are not going to be able to treat themselves. Have you ever looked at your bill? A few years ago, I had a mild heart attack and I was admitted to the hospital. And I was stunned to see how expensive it was. It cost me over $80,000. I was lucky that I had health insurance. And so I had to pay only 10% or something like that. But those people who are going to lose this, they're going to be in bad shape. We don't have money. We don't have $30 billion to help America. But we are spending $2 billion a day to block Hormuz and destroy Iran. Amazing, isn't it? And there's 40+% approval of this in this country. Yes, I understand that only 30% Americans support the war in Iran, but 37%. I mean, who are these people? Are they brain dead? Anyway, thank you for watching Khanversations. Please like this video, press the bell icon, and don't forget to share this video with your socio-political network. So I'll keep in touch. I'll see you again in 12 hours from now. We will talk about some interesting developments that have taken place here in Washington and elsewhere. There's all this chatter that perhaps the Iranian ambassador, Sayyid Abbas Araghchi, is heading towards Pakistan. He's also going to Muscat and Moscow. And so there is this perception that, or this feeling that maybe in the next 72 hours we might see a revival of the peace talks. The situation in Hormuz is untenable. That is very clear. You can't keep it blocked. This morning I started researching what's happening to migrant workers from South Asia in the Gulf. It'll take me a couple of days to fully understand the scenario and situation there. So I'm looking at all India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh to see what is happening to people who were working in the Gulf. As a result, there are interesting stories and sad stories, really. I was reading the story about a woman who's worked all her life in a hotel in Dubai, and now she has been let go because nobody's going to Dubai for a vacation. So the hotel does not have any guests. So they are firing or letting go their staff, and they are coming back slowly. They're coming back via Azerbaijan and Armenia. So I need to sort of plot out the source. So in a day or two, I will do that. So anyway, take care, everybody. I will see you tonight. If I finish the research, then I will talk about the migration crisis. Otherwise, I will also, if there's some development on the peace process and dialogue, then I will talk about that. But see you in 12 hours. Take care. Bye.